Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Chilling in the shop this afternoon. Hope you guys are out having a good day. We have 80-degree sunny weather here in Florida. It's race week. NASCAR, Daytona 500. I'm not a big NASCAR fan, but people in this town are. This town is going crazy. There's traffic everywhere. It drives me nuts. So you can find me here on the Sinister compound just hiding out. It's part of my PTSD. I know some of you out there have PTSD. Part of mine is that I don't like being around a lot of people. I do not like it. Let's talk about masculinity. We have a problem with our younger men, and they don't seem to be connecting with their masculinity very well. Maybe it's because we've had not just one, but several generations of broken homes with women who are playing both roles as mother and father, raising frustrated young boys who don't know how to be men. Maybe it's technology that's sucking your manhood out of you, keeping you at home instead of going outside. You'd rather play a video game than to go seek an adventure in real life. You'd rather make friends in a chat room or on social media somewhere. How many people do I know that talk about how they have friends in foreign countries, Paris or Dubai, and no friends in town? A buddy of mine who said his best friend is some guy he plays video games with, and he lives halfway across the planet, and he's never even met him in person. It's his best friend. This is all adding to your childlike nature. Real men engage in the world. Masculinity engages in the world, face to face. There's some things that have to be done in person. You can learn to become more masculine. The first step of change is awareness, and to be aware that maybe you have had your feminine side take over. I had this problem. I had masculinity all twisted. I had a false idea of what manhood was. I had an idea of manhood that was fed to me by a woman. It's not that I was trying to become a woman. I was trying to become a woman's version of a man, and that's not a real man. That's fantasy. That's a cherry-picked ideal. You can only learn how to be a man from a man. That's why mentors are so important. Find yourself a mentor. Once you recognize that maybe you've been engaging in behavior that is counter to your nature, that is bringing you down, literally making you depressed. A lot of the cause of people's anxiety, the cause of their depression, is because they're not expressing their nature, their true nature. They're going against their own species. Dogs are just dogs. You can go to any country in the world and dogs act like dogs. Cats act like cats. Ants, they're all the same. Doesn't matter if it's an ant here in Florida or one out in California or one in China. Ants are all the same. And you think that's what makes us so special, is that we're so different. Are we the only creature that has individuality? As your individuality, this embrace of individuality, turns you into a feminine weakling. You ever notice that soldiers in the military are all the same? You ever notice that certain types of strong men, certain characters are all the same? You ever notice that there is a certain type of uniformity to masculinity? And that a lot of the peacock fashion display, what you may call your individuality, how you express who you are, is feminine nature. Technology may have made you lazy. And instead of chasing a lifetime of strength, which means going through the dirt, going through the mud, getting torn up by the thickets. You've sought an easier route. I'm not blaming people that go to college and become office boys. Everybody has to have their path. We need dudes in offices. I would hate to have an exodus of men out of the Fortune 500 world and it's just only women. What would happen to our corporations if it was only women running them? No, we need men in the Fortune 500 world, in the offices, in your little cubicles with your suits and your ties, sitting there behind computers for 10 hours a day. We need some of you, but is that really the goal for all of you? What happened to being working class? Is it really just all about money? What kind of lifestyle are you chasing? A man wants to have land. Masculinity is to own something, own land, and say, those hills are mine. See that fence line? This is all mine. I own this. I'm the king of my castle. Your little apartment life in your downtown city, you hide out from nature. You hide out from manhood. You hide out from masculinity. And then you wonder why you can't find it, or why it can't find you. You could be masculine in everything that you do. You can make a conscious effort. You could find a masculine role model, Clint Eastwood or John Wayne. You could ask yourself, forget about this what would Jesus do stuff. Ask yourself, what would John Wayne do? Next time you feel like simping over a woman, ask yourself, what would John Wayne do? Or whoever it is. Some of these young guys are like, who the fuck is John Wayne? They're Googling it right now. John Wayne. That's why role models are important. Tradition is important. Handing down manhood from one generation to the next is important, from father to son, and saying, son, you are a man now. You're everything that I am and hopefully more. You could choose to be masculine in everything you think. You could stop driving those little sissy SUVs. SUVs are for women. An SUV is a woman's car. It is. You can go Google it. You guys like to fucking Google everything. It's a soccer mom car. The only people that started off driving SUVs were federal agents and soccer moms. That's it. Go get yourself a real car. Go get yourself a pickup truck. Go get yourself a fucking motorcycle. You don't have to be some fat, bearded biker. They have that, what's that shit called? The gentleman's ride? Every year they do it. And it's this ride of bikers, but they're not your typical Harley bikers. These are the cafe racer kind of riders. A little more sophisticated gentlemen. Oh, I wish I remember what it's called. It's a big ride. They have it every year. Thousands and thousands of people show up. Motherfuckers show up in suits and they do their hair all up, and guys are looking fucking tight. Guys look like they're in their church clothes or in their business clothes and they're out for a ride. It's a different scene than the guys I hang out with, but motorcycling is inherently masculine. You could buy yourself a motorcycle. Every single time you get off that bike, you go to the store, you come home from work, anytime you get off that bike, whether it's a 2-minute ride around the block or across town or to another town, anytime you ride it, you will get off that bike feeling like a goddamn man. I don't know why I thought of this joke, but I'll tell it. Maybe it's not funny. I always thought it was worth a chuckle. Somehow it's relevant. And two bulls are sitting on a ridge out in the southwest. Father bull and a son, the two bisons, buffalo. And the son looks to the father, and as they're looking down over a valley of female buffalo, And he says, Dad, what do you think? Why don't we run down there and fuck one of those buffalo? Fuck one of those cows? And Dad looks at the son and says, why don't we walk down there and fuck them all? Learn how to be a man.